You have just visited the Candy Swick and Company website. We'd like to thank you for visiting. And we have a special guest today, and that special guest is Robert W. Brown, better known as Rob. And Rob is the Vice President of Atlas Insurance Company. And we've asked him here today as a great resource for information about insurance. So Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit about Atlas Insurance and what makes you the best resource that's out there?
The best, huh? Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Atlas has been in Sarasota since 1955, so we've withstood that test of time. It's a family-run agency, so we have roots in this area. And
you said family-run. Who started Atlas Insurance?
My grandfather started it in 1953. I'm actively the managing partner. Some might wonder if I'm actually doing anything, but
you've got the hard job.
And I took over the management from my father, who's still in the agency and still performing some duties for us. So
that's very good.
Giving guidance.
That's good. So it started with grandfather to father to son, and I understand
exactly.
we have. It's a bigger company than just three
yes.
people. How many people are in your employee?
We have 35 employees. We're fortunate to have 4 partners, 2 non-Brown family partners. Darren Howard joined the agency, and his brother-in-law Tom Coaches is also with us.
Wonderful.
And both actively producing business and helped me on some of the management.
So tell me what kind of insurance that you offer, because the reason we have you here is we deal, of course, in real estate, and people
right.
have lots of questions if they're a first home buyer or they're a very experienced, sophisticated person that has multiple properties. But what kind of insurance does your company cover?
The agency has always done both personal and commercial. Personal lines being homeowners, automobile, boats, second homes, rental properties, personal type rental properties, as well as umbrella insurance. We also do the commercial lines, commercial buildings, workers' comp, various types of business, contractors, restaurants, and as well as the employee benefits side. And
is there any type of insurance that you don't do?
Thank you for asking. The one area that we don't have a presence in is mobile home insurance.
Okay,
for the individuals. We do actually some mobile home communities, just not the individual homes.
Unidome.
Right.
Okay, that's very good. Is there a difference in looking for an insurance company if I'm looking for insurance on my condominium versus on my house?
Yes, it's a great question. There's companies will insure. Some companies will insure both. Some absolutely will not insure condominiums. The condominium, as I mentioned, replacement cost and the considerations with a home. On the condominium, you're really only insuring the interior items, and that's
the content.
And that's there's a wonderful statute that's been changed recently, but which I'm happy to give you. It's available somewhere in here.
It's always appropriate to
right,
reply to your notes.
To have the statute 71811.
Okay.
718.11 is the condominium statute, state of Florida. And it will outline exactly what is the unit owner's responsibility and what is the association's responsibility.
That's huge, and we'll make sure that information is on the website right. because that's a question we as
right.
realtors are often asked. What specifically does the insurance cover and what specifically
right.
doesn't it? So
right.
we'll refer to that.
It's a frequent area of discussion during a claim. It's and at the time of a new account. We frequently see condo unit owners that are underinsured. They will know what their furnishings cost when they went, if they bought an unfurnished unit and outfitted it, but they will not typically have a good idea if it's a unit that's been through, wasn't newly constructed, what it would cost to reinstall cabinets, the flooring, the wall coverings, and those items. Right now, the drywall, and that's one of the issues covered in the statute. The drywall will be an association concern. So in essence, you've got the shell of the building,
mm-hmm.
and at the bare floor, bare walls, inward is the unit owner's responsibility. So, and there's some tweaking with the statute, who's responsible for air conditioners and sliding doors and that sort of thing. But
so that
general
statute
terms,
is going to override what the condominium documents say.
Currently, yes.
Okay, so this is a really important point for our current condominium owners and a point to bring up that this has changed, and so now you might want to go back and readjust or look at your insurance policies, and Rob would be a great knowledgeable person to talk about that.
In the condominium world, claims tend to, especially if it's one of the tower type structures.
High rises, as we call them.
High rise, if you have a claim, frequently you're involving the people in the floor below you and below them, and so and the property involved will be some of the association's property and some of the unit owner's property, so those tend to be a little more challenging in the claim world. So
one of the questions I had posed to Rob was, if I'm buying a condominium and it is insured by XYZ on the structure, should I also go to XYZ to insure the contents so we don't have subrogation?
Right.
Meaning one person says it's your job and the other person says it's your job.
Exactly. And in a perfect world, that is absolutely the best way to do it. And I would say the perfect world existed before Hurricane Andrew. In '92, everything changed, and many of the carriers that did both the unit owner side and the association side left our market. So right now there are not many companies that will do both. I hope someday they come back, but that is the perfect scenario when it's available, because there is no room for a company to wiggle out and look across. And if I can tie that back, I look, when I would be selecting an agent, if I were selecting an insurance agency, I would look for someone that can do both sides, both the home, the auto, the umbrella, because you don't have that wiggle room. If there's something, if you come to me and say, Rob, these are my personal exposures, help me find any others that I may have missed, other than the obvious, then I believe it's my responsibility to to take care of that. So if there's a gap, an uncovered item, it's my responsibility. So my responsibility to inform you. You may be comfortable with that, but you should have that knowledge.
That's great. Okay. I'm really pleased that you were here. There's so much more to cover than we have time. We'll post some further information on the website for you, and we're also going to have Rob's email and his phone number and his company, so that if you have those questions, he's an excellent resource for us. And Rob,
thank you very much for having me.
Appreciate it.